Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's
the Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host Mason Kern, here with you every Sunday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. And obviously I'm certainly glad you've decided to join me this morning. And as always, I do have some great stuff in my kennel. Today we'll be hearing from Mighty Mike Simmel, the inspiration and founder of the Bounce Out the Stigma program, as well as Jason Morris, a four-time Judo Olympian and Olympic silver medalist. I'll also be covering some sports hot topics, and for you basketball-specific fans, interesting happenings on the Hardwood. Now, in Sports Hot Topics this week, there's a plethora of things I could choose from. Not only do we have the World Series going on, obviously, between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Boston Red Sox, there's also UFC going on with Michael Johnson missing weight for his fight, but the Moncton fight versus Artem Lobov still going on. You also have, obviously, mock drafts with NCAA football, but also, you have NFL, and I want to key in on one game in particular from this past week in the NFL. It was Houston Texans versus Miami Dolphins. It was a Thursday night game this week. Houston ends up winning this one 42-23 to advance to 5-3 on the year. Sends the Miami Dolphins, who have been slumping as of late, to a 500 record at 4-4. But two key notes from this game. First of all, DeAndre Hopkins with an unbelievable catch that was called off. They got called for offensive pass interference, so he didn't get the yardage, didn't get the actual call. So the catch doesn't necessarily count. But this man, DeAndre Hopkins, probably had arguably a better catch than the iconic catch made by Odell Beckham Jr., that one-handed grab falling into the end zone. DeAndre Hopkins back fade, jumps up, catches the ball around two defenders, brings it down one-handed, catches it, basically braces it alongside his left leg, and then somehow manages to hang on to the ball as he hits the floor. Now, like I said, called for pass interference, offensive pass interference, so doesn't actually get the catch, but still, I mean, to be able to hold on to that ball, I mean, pretty incredible. Now, like I said, Texans go on to win this one 42-23, but one major loss for the Texans in this game is Will Fuller will be done. He's done for the year. He has a torn ACL. It was confirmed by the team. He was running a route, got held. There were 3 different penalties on the Miami Dolphins defender who was trying to stop Will Fuller's run. And it was pretty incredible. He got called for holding. He got called for illegal touching. And he got called for pass interference, all on Will Fuller, before Will Fuller got tripped up, fell to the ground, and then held his knee. So we knew it wasn't going to be good, because obviously whenever a player goes for his knee, you always expect the worst. But Will Fuller does have torn ACL, will be out for the year. Once again, Texans losing a big piece in their offense in that game. But guys, no shortage of sports going on in this week's edition of Sports Hot Topics. So that's all the time we have for you in this section, as we have a great interview coming out with Mighty Mike Simmel. Don't go away. You're not going to want to miss this one. The Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 will be right back after this quick break.
If you're losing your hair or notice that it's getting thinner, listen closely. You can do something about it without messy lotions or drugs. Now you can get clinically proven hair growth results at home with the Hair Max Laser. Hair Max delivers nourishing laser light energy to stimulate hair growth right at the roots. It's FDA cleared, recommended by doctors, and best of all, it has an amazing 93% success rate in clinical studies in both men and women, so you can be sure it works. Use it just 3 times a week and experience new hair growth, increased density, and healthier, fuller, more attractive hair in just weeks with a 5-month money-back guarantee. Now, for a limited time, save 15% on your Hair Max order at hairmax.com. Type in code RADIO at checkout or call Call 1-800-9REGROW. That's hairmax.com, code radio, or 1-800-9REGROW. Experience real hair growth and save 15% with HairMax.
Hey there, and welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, Mason Kern, and joining us now is Mighty Mike Simmel, a professional entertainment basketball player. Mike has an incredible story that I'm so excited to share with you all, but more on that later. Mike is also the founder of the Bounce Out the Stigma special needs basketball program, which we'll get to momentarily. With that, hey Mighty Mike, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Thanks for joining us today.
What's going on, Mason? How you doing?
I'm doing
Thanks for
great.
having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. So first off, can you just tell us a little bit about Bounce Out the Stigma and how it got started and why you started it?
Oh, no, definitely. So Bounce Out the Stigma is the most unique basketball program in the country because it's designed for children with special needs, and it's actually run by someone with special needs, and that's me. I've had epilepsy since the age of 2,
Wow.
And when I was 16 years old, I was at a basketball camp and was told to go home because I had a seizure. Basically, I started playing professionally with a team called the Harlem Wizards, and I started playing with them about in 2001, and we started this program in 2005 because we didn't want kids to feel the same way I felt at that basketball camp, and we wanted to help all kids and make kids feel good about themselves and know that there were no limitations, and we wanted to make kids feel good about themselves.
Right, yeah, that's truly incredible. I mean, having to deal kind of with this your entire life since the age of 2, like you said, how are you kind of able to play basketball at the same time as you had this condition?
Well, really, you just have to manage things. You know, you have to make sure that you take your meds at the right time. You have to make sure you get your sleep. Make sure you have to, you stay active. You stay communicated with your doctors and your loved ones, and you just got to make sure you take care of yourself. Like so many kids in our camps, they have to make sure that they take care of themselves. That's the most important thing, is you have to stay on top of things. When I was a kid and I was a young person, that was the most important thing. It was just staying on top of all of my medications and making sure that everything was straight. And like now, I've been seizure free for 9 years.
Wow.
And that's a custom to the fact that I take care of my body, and I take care of, even though I still take medication, but I take care of my body. And I think to all the listeners in the Valley that may have a disability or a condition that take care of themselves, they may, it may be a parallel to their life too. And hopefully I can serve as a real, model to their living too. And that's what I try to do to our kids. And, even though, these kids may have limits with our camps, these kids may have limits and challenges put on them before they even able to walk, chew, stand up, whatever it may
Right.
be. These limitations turn into labels, and then those labels turn into social stigmas, and those social stigmas, they defer them in their life. And we do with our basketball camps is what we want to do is we want to erase all those social stigmas, because we give them challenges to make them feel good about themselves, and those things that make them feel good about themselves empower them, and that empowerment makes them feel just like they can do things on another level, and that builds confidence. And that's what these camps are all about, and that's what makes these camps unique. And we give them things and tools, and whether it be sensory issue, motor skill coordination drills, or just real life basketball drills that they wouldn't learn in any other basketball camp, because no other basketball camps challenge them. We want to push them to the edge and push them to their limits, and just make them know that what our motto is that limits not define me, my will defines my limits. And we really, really push them. And I have a lot of energy, as you probably can tell by just talking to me. I want to jump onto the radio right now and just do a dance or something.
Right.
But I'm so excited, man. I'm so pumped up to be doing this, and I really feel this is my calling. And ever since I retired 4 years ago from playing professionally, I still do tricks and I still do shows. But I still do halftime shows, and I still do school assembly programs. But these camps are really my calling, because I feel I'm giving something back, and I still work with people with special needs and epilepsy and stuff like that. And it's a calling for me, and it's something that I really I feel like I'm blessed to do, and God's given me a gift to do. So it's all I can say,
Right, yeah, it really is inspirational, especially what you're doing throughout your camps, and then just really your story as well, motivating all of our listeners for sure. Now, I mean, we talk about the kids. What really is the feeling like then to kind of be able to connect with these kids who oftentimes don't really get the opportunity to even participate in a program like this one?
Oh my God, the feeling you get when you can connect. I mean, if you're just there when you're there just as a volunteer, if you're just speaking as from the volunteers to the regular workers to just me being the whole director of the whole camp and the whole president and the CEO of the Bounce Out the Stigma Foundation, it's just a feeling of utter bliss. We get, people who work for us, they just say, wow, this is something that is life-changing. It's just life-changing because you made a camper's day and that you're making them look at you. For me, in many ways, these kids look at me as their hero. And this is something they can relate to in their life because they've been there. And, you can't even really, I'm struggling to even put it into words. It makes me happier just to see the joy in their parents' eyes too, because I know how their parents struggle too, because my parents struggled the same way, maybe not in the same aspects as some of their parents, but I mean, with me, with my epilepsy, it's kind of funny because when I had epilepsy, it was the BG era. It was by BG, it was before Google. So, basically, they couldn't find things on the computer, but these parents struggle like my parents struggle. And when my parents come to the camp and look at it, they ask my parents questions. But these parents go through a lot, and their parents really counted on me to do a lot of good things and be their parent to their kid, their surrogate at the camp. And I just want to give back as much as I can. And these kids are just give them that sense of empowerment. It just, like I said, it makes me feel like I'm on a high. I'm on an emotional high.
Right, and being able to kind of provide that bliss to the children as well. I'm sure it's a great feeling. Now, you've also worked with several NBA teams through the Bounce Out the Stigma program. So, what kind of programs have you done, and have you had a chance to do anything here in the Valley here with our sons?
Well, the NBA, we've worked with a couple NBA teams. First team we worked with, and we've been fortunate to partner with has been the Philadelphia 76ers, who's been a team on the upstart, and Coach Brett Brown has been a great partner with our program. We've been able to partner them. This will be our third year with them.
Nice.
The first year we did a program, and it worked out so well. We partnered with Temple University and the Philadelphia 76ers. We did it at Temple. It was featured on NBA Inside Stuff. It went so well they wanted to do it a second year. And then we did it at their practice facility, which is like a brand new place. It looks like the Avengers practice. It looks like the Avengers house. So it's unbelievable, the place. So we got to do it there. And Brett Brown actually gave me a personalized jersey with my Mighty Mike on the back of it. Yeah. And then they did a autism awareness night, and they wound up surprising us with a VIP treatment and accommodation citation from the councilman. And then also a award at halftime, a Game Changer award. So I was surprised that night with 2 awards that I didn't even think I was even going to get. Yeah, and so these people, those Sixers rolled out the red carpet for us, and they're going to do it again this year with another program in January. And we piggybacked off of that with an organization which I actually worked for when I was in college, the New York Knicks. I was a ball boy for the Knicks when I was in college because they practiced at my college. And so we reached out to them, and they were more than happy to work with us. And they came out to my summer camp this year in New Jersey. And John Starks came out as one of their former stars. He came out to the camp, and now they want to do more programs with us. They're going to be coming out to one of my camps in November. We're going to be doing a program, and we're going to be launching some more programs with them. And now my hope is to do something in the Valley with the Suns. Hey, Suns. If there's any Suns brass listening, we'd want to do a program in the Valley. We'd love to do it. And then we have hopefully some more people in mind as well. But hopefully the Suns brass or somebody in the Suns is listening, because we got a great program and we'd love to bring it to you. So, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely really cool that you've been able to kind of partner with these NBA teams as well. Definitely a great opportunity for the kids. Now, what then, Mighty Mike, are the ultimate goals of your program? Is there any special things that or stones left unturned that you kind of want to accomplish?
Well, really, I've done a lot of really cool things so far. I've had my own children's book written based on my life. Quick plug: Mighty Mike Bounces Back. You can get it on Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can get it at your local bookstore. Mighty Mike Bounces Back. Get it today. Get the quick plug in. I've been honored by, as a Kentucky Colonel, 10 Outstanding Young Americans Award. I had camps in over 20 states. If there's anything I'd want to do, I just want to reach as many kids as possible. Nice. We reached, to reach 7,000 kids, I want to reach 7 million kids. We want to make this something where we get sponsorships and we get people that can reach us to as many goals as we can reach, and to reach out with the NBA teams and the colleges, and just to reach as many kids as we can. I don't think we can really pinpoint like a goal, because I'm the type of person, I live in the moment and I prepare for the future. That's the type of person I am, and so that's what the mindset I try to keep. And because I think more and more each day, if you work hard, good things are going to come, and more things will happen for you if you continue to work hard. And I'm plugging away each day to make more things happen. So we'll just see what happens as we go.
Right, yeah, I definitely think that's a perfect mindset for everything you're trying to do here with Bounce Out the Stigma and all the programs as well. Well, Mighty Mike, thank you so much for your time. Where can our listeners go to get more info on Bounce Out the Stigma, on yourself, or just to connect with you?
Well, if they go to, there's a couple places. If they go to bounceoutthestigma.org, that's our website. They can go to MightyMikeBasketball.com. They can go to our Facebook page, Bounce Out the Stigma, Mighty Mike Simmel. That's our Facebook page. And also we have an Instagram, which we just put up this summer. Well, like a couple months ago. It's Bounce Out the Stigma on Instagram. So we definitely want some Instagram followers, because we're pushing it out there now.
I got you. Yeah, we'll bring you out to the Valley, get some Bounce Out the Stigma program out here for sure. Well, Mike, thank you so much. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
If you're tired of hair falling flat, check out the npbeautiful.com flat iron by celebrity hairstylist David Babai, known for Kate Hudson's beachy waves. This sleek modern iron is curved, allowing for endless styling options like waves, flips, curls, and ringlets. Innovative rose gold vibrating plates heat up to 400 degrees, shuffling the hair back and forth to minimize tugging, slipping, or pulling. And 10% of net proceeds support pediatric cancer and animal welfare causes. Find it at npbeautiful.com.
Hey there, welcome back. Once again, you're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, Mason Kern, and joining us on the line now is Jason Morris, a 4-time Judo Olympian and Olympic silver medalist. He was also the coach of the 2008 Judo Olympic team. Jason is here today to delve more into the sport of judo and how he got his start in this fascinating sport. So with that, hey Jason, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. So glad you could join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. So first off, just a little bit of background on yourself. How did you get into judo in the first place?
Basically, I came home with a flyer with a judo practitioner on it. I showed it to my mother, and I think we both thought it was Kung Fu, because I was watching Kung Fu back in the day with David Carradine, and it's like, yeah, this looks cool. Let's go check it out. And then when I actually saw it, I still didn't know the difference, I don't think. And because you throw out all those names, when you're a novice, you don't know one's another.
Right.
So, it looked really cool watching the guys flipping through the air, the throws of judo, and I was hooked instantly.
How then did that kind of develop into you becoming becoming more competitive then, and then obviously making it to kind of the highest level in the Olympics?
Well, I was a very competitive kid anyways, so no matter what I was doing, I wanted to compete, and it was kind of a natural progression. It wasn't like, I want to make the Olympics, because when you're 8, you don't really know what that means. So it was kind of a natural progression, and kept training, kept going to practice, kept winning trophies, and next thing you know, I was, like you said, now I'm 51 years old and on radio shows.
Yeah, there you go. I guess that one thing leads to another, and here we are today. But obviously, I mean, judo itself, can you kind of give a brief explanation for those who don't really know how it works, kind of what the sport really is and what it all takes to kind of do it?
Sure. Judo is a combination pretty much of many of the grappling arts, like wrestling, sambo, jiu-jitsu. It's all in one. In judo, you wear a uniform that you can grab onto, and you start on your feet, and you attempt to throw your opponent to the ground. You can score by throwing your opponent to his back, and then you can also win on the ground, or we call it mat work, with arm locks and chokes.
Well, there's obviously a lot that kind of goes into this sport. Obviously, wrestling a huge part of it, but does MMA or any of those kind of techniques help with learning this sport as well?
Well, actually, judo is one of those sports that is a great base for MMA. So if you wanted to be a fighter, judo has a sound, submission techniques and throwing techniques. As maybe you've seen Ronda Rousey or Kaylee Harrison, some of the girls who've done really well in the MMA. And then, of course, you have to learn how to strike. And that's not my field, but I would guess you'd want to have a boxing or Muay Thai type of background for that.
Right, yeah. I mean, this, like you said, judo, great baseline, learning some of the techniques for MMA. I mean, there's, like I said before, so much kind of going on in trying to learn it and becoming competitive and at the highest level, which you did, like I said. So what was then the Olympic experience really like? I mean, like I said, going on to win a silver medal on the highest stage. What was that process and how much of a thrill was it really?
Well, I got to tell you, if you talk to a lot of elite athletes, they might agree with me that the thing that was the coolest part of that whole, all of it in my whole career is the grind of it, the training, the being dead after practice. The Olympic medal and the world medals and all those things are the culmination of the grind, and the grind is what I enjoyed the most. I enjoy being able to figure out, how this guy's getting a certain grip and he's kicking my butt. So how can I figure that out? You spend hours in the video room, and then you're trying to apply it in the dojo, and that's the part I enjoyed the most.
Now, as I also mentioned, you got into coaching the 2008 Olympic team as well. So how did that kind of come about?
Well, I didn't know I could do it at first, but just in general, I started my own program called the Jason Morris Judo Center in Glendale, New York, and basically started with beginners. And that developed over the years into having people like Ronda Rousey come and train at my facility. And she was actually one of the Olympians that was on that particular team. So it was like the coaching progression was similar to my playing career progression. It slowly progressed until, I was at the highest level, and then they I was honored to be named the Olympic coach.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a pretty incredible experience, too. Now, I mean, you mentioned Ronda Rousey coming in and training at your facilities, leading then to, being on that Olympic team as well. What other high-profile or other judo athletes did you train or were you working alongside with?
Well, each quadrennial, that's what we call each 4 years of the Olympics. I've had a different stable of kids and athletes. So far, we've placed a kid on the 08, 12, and 16 teams. Hopefully, I've got a couple in the stable now. These aren't names that you would know because, it's judo. It's not like they're household names, unfortunately.
Right.
But I've got a couple in the stable for 2020. And there's more in the stable for 2024. And hopefully one day my daughters, who are 8 now, will be in line at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that family, I guess, tradition kind of passing along to your daughters. I mean, that would be extremely cool if they go on and win a medal or do some pretty cool things in judo as well. Well, Jason, thank you so much for your time. Where can our listeners go to get more info or just to connect with you?
You can check out anything that has to do with Jason Morris or the Jason Morris Judo Center at www.realjudo.net.
Well, there you go, guys. Make sure to go check out the website. Jason, thank you so much again for your time. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. We'll be right back after this quick break.
If you have a lot of devices that are always power hungry, get the Charge Hub Power Station 360 Surge Protector Power Strip from LimitlessInnovations.com. It's the most effective charging station on the market today. It features quick and convenient charging up to 10 devices simultaneously. That's juice for 10 devices all at once. The Charge Hub 360 is also designed with a safety power surge to protect all gadgets and devices while providing optimal charge. Find it at LimitlessInnovations.com.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
All right, guys, as always at the end of the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060, we're going to pivot on over to the Hardwood, talk some hoops talk on our signature happenings on the Hardwood segment. Now, before I get into any breakdown of the regular season games, as we are around 5 or 6 games in, depending on what team you root for, I want to first get into a newly proposed trade offer for none other than Jimmy Butler. Yes, the Minnesota Timberwolves still hearing out offers, but none other seems like a good enough fit or one they're willing to accept, I should rather say, than one that was recently proposed this week by the Houston Rockets. So, the way it works, if you're going to trade or propose a trade including draft picks, you cannot trade picks that are future picks longer than 7 years. Also, you can't trade picks in back-to-back years. So if I traded a pick in 2018, I could not trade one in 2019. I'd have to wait until 2020. So what the Rockets did is they proposed an offer including 4 future first-round draft picks. Now, the players who would go along in that deal from Houston, they're unknown. It has not been reported, but 4 future first-round picks leading up to that 7-year deadline, obviously alternating years, for Jimmy Butler. Now, I think that's a steep price. This just proves that Houston is all in on this season, want to win now, but even if they got Jimmy Butler, I don't know if the Rockets have enough talent defensively to get it done. Defense wins championships. I get that. And you add a player like Jimmy Butler, I mean, yeah, your offense is probably going to improve, but you still have Carmelo Anthony on the bench, who isn't really giving you much defensive consistency. Honestly, not that much offensive consistency in this latter portion of his career either. Obviously, James Harden, Chris Paul, all-star duo. But you lose Trevor Ariza, you lose Luke Richard and Mbah a Moute, 2 really good defensively minded forwards, and they have not looked that good to begin the season. Not to say that they've looked bad, it just looks like they've regressed a little bit to me. Now, you infuse Jimmy Butler into this system. The offense, like I said, I think it would benefit, but at the end of the day, I don't think they get past a Golden State Warriors team who is just a more cohesive unit, having played together for 4 years now. And granted, they do have DeMarcus Cousins now, but he has not played yet. They need to work him into their system. So I thought it was a pretty lucrative offer that if I were the Timberwolves, yeah, I would probably accept it, but probably not the best deal for the Houston Rockets, especially if they're compromising their future in order to try and win this year, which either way I don't think is happening. But in other news, I'm going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. On Thursday night, they took on the Denver Nuggets, a very good young Nuggets team with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, all these pieces that are really going to put them into contention for a playoff run this year. But Lakers got their first win against the Suns, a lowly opponent. They come back to Staples Center looking to get 2 in a row, and they do it. LeBron James puts up a triple-double. Lonzo Ball plays really well, gets a quintuplet over 5 in the stat sheet. That means over 5 categories in the stat sheet with over 5 marks, I guess you would call it. And then JaVale McGee, Kyle Kuzma combined for 43 points. Lance Stevenson sparks the end of the game, their run to seal it. And LeBron even said, "Make 'em dance, Lance gave us the energy to win this game." Now, let me repeat that for you. He gave Lance a new nickname. "Make 'em dance, Lance." Now, I don't know if that's going to catch on, but I think it's pretty catchy, especially because Lance Stevenson's so energetic on the court, dancing around, passing shifty passes onto the teammates. Had a really nice surge at the end of the game. But Lakers, winners of 2 in a row now, beat the Nuggets 121-114. And you guys know I got to end it on some Lakers talk. So that's going to do it for happenings on the Hardwood, and that's going to do it for our show. So we'll see how the rest of this NBA season turns out, and keep tuning in here for more updates on all things NBA.
If you're ready for a boast-worthy staycation, the AAA 4-Diamond Hermosa Inn, located in Scottsdale's Paradise Valley, is for you. This luxury hotel offers authentic Arizona character and charm. Its 43 newly renovated casitas are nestled in a garden setting with breathtaking views of the lush desert and Camelback Mountain. Most accommodations include deep soaking tubs, beehive fireplaces, and private patios. Other property features include a lively bar and communal seating areas, on-site painting classes, free-use beach cruisers, seasonal poolside yoga, hot tub facilities, a business suite, and dining to die for. The Hermosa Inn is an ideal locale for small group getaways, from weddings, intimate family vacations, and bachelorette weekends, even golf outings, board meetings, and executive retreats. And its award-winning on-site restaurant, Lawns, is renowned for globally inspired Arizona fare, complemented by a subterranean wine cellar. You can see amazing photos of this and much more at hermosainn.com. That's hermosainn.com.
Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @sportswatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at the Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog Ace and Kern.